I don't know what to do.
Do the what's up, fam. I was giving you a break, but I like it better when you say it.
What's up, fam? Sean and Sasha here.
I'm Sean.
I'm Sasha.
All right, come on. Yeah, that's right. I didn't like it. All right. I didn't believe you.
What's up, fam? Sean and Sasha here. Did you believe that one? What's up, fam? Sean and Sasha here.
I'm Sean.
I'm still Sasha.
Still Sasha, my beautiful bride. Wait, we're going to jump right into it. We have a suggestion for a topic by my boy Troy Bass. He wants to know, why do we have to look different from the world? And by we, he doesn't mean he and I. He doesn't mean me and Sasha. He means, why do Christians have to look different from the world?
So, meaning we have to look different, like I have to only wear my Jesus sweatshirts, or my Jesus glasses, or my Jesus hat, or have a cross or a fish tattooed on my chest somewhere.
Only on your forehead.
Oh.
Maybe sleeved out with the crucifixion story.
That's bloody.
That's not good. No. Nope, that's not what he means. What he does absolutely mean is why we have to look different in hairstyles.
Oh. And we're not saying anything bad about Jesus gear.
Yeah.
We rock Jesus
Hey.
gear all the time. That's Jesus gear. This is Jesus gear for King and Country. Woo! We have Jesus gear like, I don't know, everywhere. We wear it all the time. We support lots of Christian companies that have some pretty fly Jesus swag. But what he's meaning is, why does the Bible say that Christians have to stand out and be apart from the world and not of the world?
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, it's a pretty simple answer.
Jesus said so.
Yeah, I mean, period in the story. We can argue about whatever you want, but the fact is, Jesus said you have to be different. So, we be different. And by different, I literally just mean you follow what the word says. Follow what the gospel tells us to do.
Mm-hmm. And especially when you spend time in the Word, I mean, He speaks to you and He brings things to your mind. I mean, even if you don't hear an audible voice that says, you should do this. You shall not pass! Like, maybe He throws something in your mind, a memory about something that you said once, or maybe in the way that you speak.
Really, it's rude enough being alive when no one wants you.
Or maybe in the way that you dress when you go out on a Friday night.
A dress.
Says who?
Calvin Klein.
Maybe it's in the way that you address your employees.
Fired.
I beg your pardon?
Fired.
But I...
Way you react to an argument.
You're pointing at me right now as you say that.
You're
Look
pointing.
at you.
I'm
Look
just
at your
pointing at
finger.
your pointing,
Look at your
which
finger
is
right
different
now.
than
What is
normal
it doing?
pointing.
You are pointing.
You haven't seen
You're
pointing
accusing
until I
me
get
of
through with
pointing
you, and then
while
you'll...
you're...
Yes.
The way that you react to a compliment.
Yes.
That's a wonderful suit. You look so soft.
Your compliment was sufficient.
Here's the thing, if we match what the world's doing, then we become redundant. If we're just going to follow the world, then why need Christians?
How many men does it take to deliver a message?
One.
If you're not going to follow him anyway, then who's pointing the world to Christ? You're still pointing the world back to the world.
And I mean, a lot of times, some people, have said, I don't know what it is about you, you're just different. And that has everything to do with Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times because we don't react, or when someone tells us something that they've been going through and they expect us to be like, oh my gosh, how could you do that?
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh man, and how'd that go? and they're just stunned because they don't understand why we're not judging them or coming down on them or shaming them.
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Look at people through Jesus's eyes, because he knows that we're flawed and he knows that we make mistakes. He knows everything about us. He made us. He also knows the world that he put us in, and he also knows what he has to do and say or have things around us that go on around us that will snap us into a reality that he needs us to be in. It's hard sometimes to be as kind as you need to be, especially if you are not in a good place.
Yeah.
You is calm, you is smart, you is important.
It's not always easy to be kind. It's not always easy to take a step back and take yourself out of it. It's not always easy to, when someone tells you that they've done something horrific, or when someone tells you that something horrific has been done to them, it's not always easy to keep the kind face.
Yeah. On the understanding face. And
Yes.
not to overreact. You still need to react because you're a person and they're a person. They need to see that you're receiving what
Yes,
they're saying.
but at the same time, if someone is telling you something that they have gone through and you react, depending on where that person is, they may clam up and stop talking. And that's not our job. Our job is not to clam them up. Our job is to be open to them and loving and
Inviting.
reassuring and kind. And so we've had to learn a few things along the way. We weren't always great. For those people who've experienced that, super sorry about that.
It's knowing the time where you need to take a stand,
Yes.
but
But
not make a scene.
Yes, and not to come across as someone who is judgy.
Mr. I am the law.
You can't offer something you don't carry. If you don't have peace, you can't offer peace. If you don't have patience, you can't offer patience.
Well,
So,
that's true.
because of that, that's why we have to be different. We can't look like what the television portrays love. We can't look what,
Or what the television portrays Christians as.
yeah. Oh, man.
Did you not ask if she believed in God? She's not a Christian!
I mean, that's why we're not supposed to be like other Christians. We're supposed to be like Christ. So if we're being like other Christians, then the world's only going to hear about Christians. But if we're being like Christ, then the world's going to start hearing about who Christ is.
And being set apart also doesn't mean that you only speak to other Christians. You're not really reaching the world if you're only talking to people who are already saved. I mean, yes, you need to have those people who you're close to and that you're accountable to, and that also you can, bounce your ideas or your thoughts or the new things and revelations that Christ has spoken to you. And you always need those people who are confidants and close to you, and you need those people to be like-minded so that they can understand where you're at and where you're walking with Christ and what area, and someone that you can be honest and vulnerable to that's not going to judge you or be harsh towards you. I mean, I have girlfriends who I am very close to that I can speak to about my life and my walk, that I'm confident that not only, even if they don't understand necessarily what I'm going through, that they're going to pray for me in an honest and real capacity that I'll need.
I just want to sit down with my friends without three little people clawing all over.
And I get prayers of strength and of love, and I need that. But we also are pretty real about the fact that we don't care what walk of life you come from. Mm-hmm. We don't care who you've been around or what you've done or mistakes you've made, thoughts you've had. We're not going to be aggressive or upset or shame you or judge you or push you down or make you feel worse than what you already do. That's not our job.
Yeah.
Our job is to go to the weak and go to the hurting and go to the proud and go to the people who need Jesus and be that.
Yeah, and we don't play the confession competition game where I've done worse than you, you've done worse than me. It doesn't matter. We all fall short, and that's where we start.
We may throw a story out there so you understand that we're not playing Christian.
Yeah.
That
We really have been redeemed.
yes. But at the same time, they're not better or worse than me because they may or may not know Christ.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm worse than anybody because I know Jesus and I still do things that I know I shouldn't sometimes. I still have to combat my words at times. I still have to look at myself in the mirror after I've lost my temper or been super frustrated with people
Yeah.
when I know that they need understanding and I know that they're walking through something. I still sometimes take offense.
That's offensive!
I try not to.
Even Christians, we hold grudges, and that's why we don't point to other Christians. We point to Christ.
Yes.
You know, I'm not saying that being Christian's bad. I'm not downing Christians. What I'm saying is we get in the bad habit of pointing to other Christians, whether it's blame or example. We can't do that. The only example is Christ.
Yes.
Let's get back to that.
And even when we look at our pastors, we can't look at them and put them on a pedestal, and we also can't tear them down.
Yeah.
They're people. And yes, they should be trying. If they're going to preach and be, God is very clear about the fact, if that's who you are, you're going to be judged harsher because you're responsible for more. But at the same time, there is grace that needs to happen because the weight that is put on them, it's heavy.
There's that word again, heavy.
And it's, we've talked about the fact that that's a scary place to be responsible not only for you and then your family and then, oh wait, hundreds of other people. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. But God is bigger. He's bigger than you, and he's bigger than your family, and he's bigger than all those hundreds of people.
God is bigger than the boogeyman.
To know that if you walk in somewhere and you say that they ask what your profession is, and you're like, oh, I'm a pastor, and they're like, oh, they either have a good or a bad thought of who you are because of other pastors that they've known.
Yeah.
So,
You know what? Let's leave a comment, tag your pastor in the comments, and say thank you for being different.
or a pastor.
Yeah,
that
a
you think is
pastor,
different.
your pastor, all the pastors,
Yes.
a ministry team, dream team, whoever.
Yeah.
Tag them and let them know that you appreciate them being different.
Never been tagged. Just saying.
But that doesn't mean you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Read that word and pray on what he gives you and listen to that worship music and allow him to just speak to you. And again, it's not, he might, I don't know, he might come to you in your dreams and be like, yo, I'm God and I'm
I'm God.
And that's what I mean by we're not perfect. We're just trying.
yeah. And I'm grateful God doesn't keep tally.
Yeah.
Not be in a bad place.
Yeah. So yeah, do me a favor, comment below, let us know.
Tag your pastors.
Yeah.
Tell them
Tag your
thank you.
pastors. All right, thanks guys.